So the biggest barrier for adults in some ways is even accessing a diagnosis in the first place. So there's a huge financial barrier for diagnosis of autistic adults. It's around $2,000 for a private diagnosis, and usually that's the only option. Free diagnoses, you'll have to be put on a wait list, or maybe it's not even available in your region at all. Many of us are struggling with basic needs: food, shelter, connection to the community, and even accessing these government services can be difficult if we don't have alternative forms of communication being honored and having those options available to access those government services. We can't get them. Things like if you're deaf or like me, only partially speaking sometimes, we wouldn't be able to make that phone call. We would need to be able to use other forms of communication like AAC or even simple email. Another barrier to getting those needs met would be having IQ as part of those assessments of whether or not we qualify for those services. IQ doesn't really equate to having executive functioning when it comes to daily living, and what we hope for is, rather than an outdated way of accessing what we can do and what we cannot do, but services should be assessed based on actual needs and not the assumptions that come along with IQ tests. So what must the government keep in mind when creating this legislation? First and foremost, you have to include disabled youth and adults from the beginning to the end of the process in developing the policies, taking our input as to what is actually helpful for us, and especially listening to us and even prioritizing our voices over those that speak to claim for us without us.